over the past couple of days, we've received more details about the upcoming WWE 2K18 video game. This news has been released and has been covered by a lot of YouTube channels, social media, different websites, but as someone who has been playing WWE video games for decades, I want to take a look at some of the details that have been revealed. In fact, I think that a few of the details revealed these last couple of days is actually some quite significant details when it comes to how the game is, what the gameplay is going to be like, and what we can do in the game. WWE2K18 is the official website where it states that from next Thursday they will be bringing out some more information and perhaps even videos and behind the scenes look at how you go about creating a WWE or 2K Sports video game. That'd be good to see from next Thursday exactly how they put together, and obviously people will pore over those videos and see whether they can ascertain any further details about WWE 2K18 and what they're working on. A few of the details that have been revealed. One of the details, first of all, though, is about the commentary. Now, this is a really bit of good news in my opinion. The commentary has been needing an overhaul for the last few years, and this year they have been working with the NBA 2K team, the makers of their basketball game, to work on the commentary. Not only that, they've got a new commentary team of Michael Cole, Byron Saxton and Corey Graves. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether it is the first time they've had 3 commentators in the game. I think there's a mixture of commentators on the 2K17 game. I think if you play Raw, you get a couple of commentators. You play SmackDown events, you get like JBL with Raw, Jericho Lawler with SmackDown. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but certainly this is the first time they've worked with the NBA 2K team. I don't play basketball games myself because I'm not a basketball fan, but I have heard lots and seen lots of commentary on Twitter or Facebook, people saying that the commentary for the NBA 2K games is actually really good. So hopefully their methodology, the technology that they're working with can help the commentary, hopefully give it a quite organic feel and not have lines repeating all the time, which would be a bad step because we would, although it's joined, it's different commentary. It's we would hate for just some repeating lines of commentary to be replaced with other repeating lines of commentary. Also, the presentation they're working on, we've heard about their new lighting for the game. The press event that they held earlier, right at the start of this week, a few people were invited to that, obviously not me because it's in the United States, but they took apparently a Randy Orton 2K17 model, put them in the 2K18 lighting system, and apparently it looks very good. There's the usual hype for these games. They say, updated graphics engine. They're said also upgraded promo engine for the WWE Universe section and the My Career I think it works on. New rendering, new kind of really just new game engine stuff. Updates to how the game visually looks. So that's the stuff that we see every year, though. We do see that it's the step-by-step process, and I'll talk about that at the end. They've also talked about the My Career mode. They say that there's a brand new Road to Glory mode, which is they say the end of games of sorts for the My Career. Road to Glory sounds obviously so very Bobby Roode-esque, who I'm certainly hoping will be in the game, and I'm pretty sure he will be. He should be. The My Career mode, it's a good thing that this continues to be included in the game. Stuff like that in the WWE Universe, which apparently they said on the WWE2K18 website that it will reflect the current WWE pay-per-view schedule. So is that a hint at the Raw and SmackDown brand splits being present in the game. Again, that we don't know a tremendous amount of details. They only just announced the Road to Glory mode. What that actually means is, I mean, is that once is that going towards a Hall of Fame career? How exactly it will work, we don't know. That's one of the frustrating things right now at this stage is the lack of details. But as I said, hopefully starting from next Thursday we will know more. But Road to Glory mode is one of the new forms of online content for the My Career campaign. So maybe maybe reading this again, it looks like maybe you can further your career not just in the My Career mode, but going on to using your wrestler online as well, and maybe becoming bigger and better. Maybe it would help for the My Career mode. Maybe you could do several matches while you're playing My Career mode, kind of working in WWE but going on the independent circuit as well, and then returning to WWE, kind of thing where you can go outside of the WWE, wrestle matches, win matches, gain maybe whatever points it is to up your abilities or to unlock characteristics, abilities maybe that you could add to your wrestler, and then you could go back into My Career mode, continue it with a better wrestler. Who knows? That would be a good idea, possibly. Maybe that's what they mean by that. The backstage brawling is being expanded. It's reportedly of 3 times the interactable places to fight in the arena. This backstage wrestling in a video game is something I feel that's not really ever been perfected yet. WCW tried it in their games quite near the end, well, relatively near the end, the last couple of years. There was WCW Mayhem and so forth had them. I know Backstage Assault was a horrible game. I didn't like it because, and I think that was probably the last WCW game, I didn't like it because it had you couldn't do a proper wrestling match, and obviously that was way back for the PlayStation 1, so the original PlayStation, now we want to term it. So I don't think it ever worked then. I just thought the technology was there to be able to do it, but it was quite cartoony and it was a little bit jerky, and it was not. It wasn't as smooth as it could have been. Also, we've seen backstage gameplay in previous games in WWE video games over the years. Like I've said, I've played the WWE games for the last couple of decades or more. 25 years or so. I even played a WWE game, then obviously the World Wrestling Federation on the Commodore 64 shortly before my sister sold hers. And I played things like Super WrestleMania, to In Your House, Warzone, and since on the PlayStation. So I've been playing the game for many years. So we've seen in the SmackDown series backstage brawling gameplay as well, fighting in places like kitchens and so forth. But we were alright, and I still feel that it is something that's still to be perfected in the gameplay though. Hopefully, as I said, it's something that they're working on, something that will gradually take shape in the years to come. One of the things that is increasing in the video game, and I'll get to roster in a few minutes, is the amount of wrestlers that you can use. One of the things that I've always said is that when it comes to pro wrestling games, simulation games are better than arcade games. I'm really glad to see that the WWE and 2K Sports and Ukes and everybody involved in these games are continuing down the simulation path for games, because I think arcade button mashers, yeah, you can do them. Some games like WWE All Stars, and there've been WWE Arcade Street Fighter-esque games that have either been made or were put in production which got cancelled. But I am really glad to see that simulation games are going ahead, and that is the direction, because that is, I think, the more realistic games that we can have for pro wrestling. And obviously realism is one of the things one of the key phrases, key words that 2K are really pushing when it comes to the WWE video games. and having more wrestlers involved in the matches is one thing. Up until now, we've only been able to have up to 6 people in a match. This year, it will, with WWE2K18, it will increase to 8 people. So we're going to have 8 people in a Royal Rumble, Battle Royal, ladder matches, and 8-person tag team matches. So that's 4 on 4. It's still going to be a little bit frustrating. We see in the Royal Rumble in real life, the ring can often just fill up with WWE superstars. And for the games, it's been a bit frustrating where you get only a few people in the ring, and then to have somebody else run into the Royal Rumble, you have to eliminate somebody, so there's space. So it's still not the greatest. Again, technology, it's an ongoing thing, I think. But 8-person matches is good. I would really hope that we will have the ability with the new create a match feature, which allows us to save a set of rules for a match, to have actually 8-person elimination matches. I would love to be able to have 8 people in a match, an elimination match, where you could actually wrestle out of the ring. You could kind of try and avoid elimination by brawling outside the ring, where you could only be in a match where you can only be pinned or submitted inside the ring. That would be great. I would love to see that. So you could have it kind of like a real match where they do multi-person matches where everybody else goes outside and leave 2 people in the ring and then kind of tag in and out with each other for high spots. I'd love to be able to do that with a creator match feature, so you could save the rules, which means you could allow you could have an 8-person elimination match where you could brawl outside the ring as well. That would be a dream match, I think, for WWE2K18. They also state on the GameSpot website about different options to play around with, including mixed gender wrestling. I would say that I'm actually a fan of mixed gender, or sometimes referred to as intergender wrestling. I think if you're all professional, not just in your training but your attitude as well, I see no problem with it. I see it a lot, and I've seen it a lot over the years in the local promotion here in Dundee. I think if you're all properly trained, highly skilled, if you all work together, I see no reason why not to have intergender wrestling. Unfortunately, I think when it comes to WWE2K18, it's not going to be proper mixed gender wrestling. I don't think we'll see the women taking on the men taking on the women like I would love to see. I think it's still going to be like a mixed. Last time we saw mixed gender matches in a WWE video game, when a woman tagged out, the men had to tag in, and when the man tagged out, the women had to tag in. So it was male versus male, female versus female, and I feel just simply due to the PG nature of WWE, that's what we're going to get in W2K18. But it's a good thing that's actually been that's actually returning to WWE. As I said, that there's continued hype, the usual kind of improvements, create a match, enhancements to create a wrestler, create a video, more effects. Obviously there's the create an arena feature, which is great, and I say it every year, but I think it's great that they allow the create an arena feature to be in the WWE video game. As I keep saying as well, they know that people are going to create arenas for different companies, whether it be a worldwide company like New Japan, Impact, or Global Force Wrestling, whatever. I mean, there's more confusion than ever on what exactly that company is called, but it's great that they allow fans to do that. I know the kind of the reason why they do that is because there is no competition when it comes to video games. Certainly here in the UK, it's WWE or pretty much nothing. There is no real rival when it comes to pro wrestling video game. There is no game that even comes close to WWE games. So it's kind of, that is, I think it's kind of a little bit of payoff. I would love to see, one of the things I'd love to see in the game is, with I thought about the create a match where we'll save a set of rules and use it for a match. I love to be able to create a championship with its own unique rules, like the Hardcore Championship, where you could pin a person everywhere. I know there's been a lot of championships in the game. Possibly the Hardcore Championship will be in the game with many other championships. And sometimes I do feel there is more titles in the game than that's actually necessary, especially if they do include the Raw, SmackDown brand split. I think you could do with losing a few of the older titles. You know, the WCW, maybe a couple of the WCW ones. Or they've got old uh, World Championships and old Tag Team Championships in W2K17. So I think they could do with dropping some of the championships if they do focus on the brand split. Obviously, they will do. If not this year, certainly I'd say for WWE2K19, we'll see the brand split in that game. So I'd like to see a championship or an arena with its own set of rules. Like if you're making New Japan, in Japan the 20 count is there if you're outside the ring instead of a 10 count, which is the norm in the UK, Europe, and America. And I would love to see that. But I think create a match with being able to create your own rules is a great thing. And obviously, they say about the return of the creating arena as well, and improvements to that also. Finally, I'll get to the roster. Now, the roster has been reported to be looked at, revealed next month, which I think a lot of people expect it to probably be around about SummerSlam. I'm not sure the exact date of SummerSlam, but probably, possibly around that time, we will see the roster being unveiled by 2K Sports for WWE 2K18. What I would say about the roster is something that I've been wanting for quite a few years now, is for the roster to be more contemporary. For it to be more realism. Again, realism is the word, it's the key phrase, they always mention it, it's the key phrase, one of the key words. It's what that means for anybody that doesn't know. When you're talking about a keyword or key phrase, it's one of the words that you kind of keep repeating when you're publicising something. Like, be like no one, that's the tagline for it. That it's kind of one of the key pieces of the game that you're trying to get across. And I think when it comes to the roster, they need to really focus on who's in WWE these days. We know that there's always going to be people who may be included in the game. Recently, there's been rumours that the Colognes have requested their release from WWE. There's always going to be people, it's happened for many, many years, who are included in the game, but then by the time the game comes out, or very shortly afterwards, they either leave the WWE or their gimmick, persona, character, whatever you want to call it, gets dramatically changed. It always happens, nothing the 2K Sports can really do about it. But I think when it comes to looking at the roster, they need to focus on the people in Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. There are plenty of people on all of the rosters in WWE who deserve to be in the games. Whether it be Authors of Pain, Asuka, I know she's in the 2K17, but there's lots of people who are, I think, deserving of people in the game. Sanity, I would love to see them in the game because I've been a fan of Killian Dane and Nikki Cross for many years, as well as Eric Young. They deserve an opportunity to be in the game, and I think UK fans would go crazy to see them in the game. I genuinely think they would. So there's so many people that I think deserve to be in the WWE video game, and I think that lose a few legends, have a few legends is obviously going to be what they're going to do. They're obviously always going to have a few legends involved in the game, but I think when it comes to the roster, they're saying that it's a bigger roster by far than in previous WWE video games. I would say that I think that the roster needs to be more contemporary. It needs to be more mirroring of the current WWE rosters. That's the one thing I want. I've said it for years. I think that's what it should be. They should try and include, and we don't know exactly how bigger the roster is going to be than WWE2K17. Hopefully we'll see that more information soon in advance of the roster as kind of a tease as well. So that, to try and start teasing us with some information, some bits, as they already kind of have started to do already. But I certainly think that the current roster needs to be the roster of choice for WWE video games, and I look forward to WWE2K18. Hopefully, as I said, more information will be coming very soon, and I look forward to getting the game in my hands come October and finding out what 2K18 is. And as I said, it's an ongoing process. I really do feel that although there's a dream list, a wish list for pretty much every WWE video game fan, I think that, and I've said it before and I will end with this, I truly think that this is going to be an ongoing process. As technology improves, as developments improve, as they work on, you know, the capabilities and abilities of such video games, I think we have to be patient and see that these games are going to improve bit by bit every year. With annual releases, they don't really have too much time to develop stuff. They don't have really, too much time to really change things really, really dramatically when it comes to the next video game. So I think when we're talking about WWE video games, I think that it's going to be improvements year upon year, bit by bit, as the series goes forward. But as I said, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what WWE 2K18 brings and what information we receive over the next couple of months before its launch.